So you set up the 슈라바스티 Abbey to further propagate Buddhism in Western society, and especially among women. I understand that 슈라바스티.
Oh, not especially among women.
Oh, really?
No, there are many men who come to 슈라바스티
okay.
Abbey.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it has male practitioners.
Male practitioners. Some of my disciples or my students are male.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we also let some men ordain too.
Oh.
Yeah.
In
our abbey, we live completely separately.
Oh.
But and the reason I did this, many people question, say, "Oh, why are you doing that?" Was because, first of all, there had been many men who had studied with me, and also because I had experienced discrimination by being a woman, you know, and I wasn't able to do certain things because of the traditional view about women.
Yeah.
And so I was excluded. So I thought, I do not want to create more karma to be excluded from things in the future. How do you create the karma to be excluded? By excluding other people.
Yeah, I understand.
So if I exclude the men, I'm harming myself.
Yes.
And I'm also preventing the men from receiving teachings and being ordained with who they considered to be their teacher. Yeah?
Yes, I understand.
So that was why. It's not for women. The Abbey is majority women. Right now we have 19 nuns and 1 monk.
Okay.
But there are some men, 3 men who are working towards ordination.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it's mostly women.
Okay, mostly women.
Yeah.
So you set up the 슈라바스티 Abbey for everyone.
Yes. Yes.
And I understand that 슈라바스티 is the name of the city where Shakyamuni Buddha stayed and taught.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you come to establish 슈라바스티 Abbey, and what is the significance of the name 슈라바스티?
Okay. So, like you said, 슈라바스티 was the place in India where the Buddha taught for 25 rainy seasons. The Varsa was held there. And there were both male and female monasteries in 슈라바스티. So because I wanted to do something with male and female, I thought, that embodies it, because the teacher, the Buddha, spoke many of the sutras there. I thought, that embodies what we want to do. So, but I had some other names, and so I wrote them in a list. I turned them into His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and he was the one who selected 슈라바스티 Abbey.
I see.
Okay. Before saying how did I establish it, why is the question. Because Buddhism is new in America, and there are many Dharma centers, but the Dharma centers are geared towards lay people. And there may be Sangha living in them, but the Sangha does not get training in Vinaya. They don't get the deeper teachings there. And I really wanted, because I have a very strong belief that the existence of the Sangha is so important for the continuation of the Dharma in a society. And also because as part of the first generation, I had experienced many difficulties, not having financial support, because the Western people are not Buddhists. They're not going to make, they will donate to the Tibetans, but they don't support us so much. And visa problems, language problems, health problems. So I wanted to set something up where monastics could come and get proper training, ordination, the deeper teachings, and have the day-to-day support. Because some other Sangha, they had to go out and get a job to earn money to pay rent and you can't keep your vows in that way. So that was one very strong purpose in setting up the Abbey. In terms of how I set it up, first there was a dream, a vision, you know, something you have in your mind. And then there's the reality of going about doing it. And to tell you, I don't know how that all happened. I look now, the Abbey has been here 19 years, almost 19 years.
19 years.
And I say, how in the world did this happen?
Wow.
How did this come together? Especially because we had to build new buildings you know, just the money to buy the land. How did that come? You know, and then to build new buildings because more people were coming to ordain. Where did that money come from? And the daily support for the monastics. How did we do that? It is such a mystery to me because I didn't start out with a big organization behind me. I didn't start out with one or two very wealthy donors. It was all through, you know, a little money here, a little there, a little there, people coming to help, and the Buddha Dharma Sangha. You know, because at first when we bought the land, we had a mortgage to pay every month. And I remember sitting there going, how am I going to pay this mortgage? Where is the money going to come from? And I took refuge in the Three Jewels, and I said, you know, we want to do this to benefit sentient beings. If they have the karma, please help the resources come so we can do this for them. And then miraculously, people donated, lots of people donated little bits, and we have the money to pay the mortgage. So we now own the land. And then to build buildings, same kind of thing. And now we're because our meditation hall is too small and we need more facilities, we are building a Buddha hall now, which will be 17,000 square feet. So it's quite large. And again, it's like, how are we going to pay for this? I don't know.
Just let it be. Let it flow.
But you can really see it's through the kindness of people. You know, just people's kindness, how they express their faith, you know, by donating so that you can build something so that they can come and learn the Dharma there. So you're not building it for the Sangha, you're building it for everybody to come and learn the Dharma and practice. So I just take refuge and, you know, hope.
Yes, and it will naturally come true.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I pray for you.
Thank you.
So could you please introduce the various meditation and practice programs at your Abbey, the 슈라바스티 Abbey?
Okay. You mean the practice programs for the lay people or for the monastics? For both.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in our monastic program, we have morning and evening meditation. We also I've written several, like one paragraph long motivations. So we have one that is said at the end of the morning meditation about how to have a monastic mind, how to look at the world as a monastic. Then we have a short meeting every morning before we do our individual jobs. And there's another verse that we recite there about the attitude of offering service. So we call it offering service. We don't call it work.
Okay. Offering service.
Yeah. Then, of course, before lunch, somebody gives a short Dharma talk. Before and after lunch, we have chanting. We have a study program where we have some philosophical studies according to our tradition. We have a Vinaya class. I'm also teaching from the Library of Wisdom and Compassion, going through that and teaching from it. Also, right now we have another class on Shantideva's text, Guide to a Bodhisattva's Way of Life. So we have a lot of teachings on different days of the week, and that's geared towards the monastics. We live stream many of those and archive the teachings too, because many people in different time zones they want to watch, so they go on YouTube, and then they can watch the teachings at a later date. And some people watch live too. And then we have different courses and retreats during the year. We usually, when we have a course, we'll give it a certain topic. So the topic may be love and compassion. The topic may be the mind and mental factors. Or this summer, we're having a retreat on Manjushri. And in the winter, last winter, we had a retreat on the Medicine Buddha. And even if we're doing a retreat on one of the specific Buddhas, we incorporate a type of analytical meditation so that people also think about the meaning of the discourses of the Buddhas. So it's not just chanting and recitation, it's taking the teachings and writing out an outline of how the Buddha was explaining a topic, and then meditating according to that, thinking about each point. And what that does is it brings you a deeper understanding of the Buddha's teachings, which is so important in our practice. You know, it's not just, well, the Buddha said that, I believe. It's, you got to think about it.
So can lay people participate all the programs?
Yes. They're welcome. That's why we stream online. We don't stream the Vinaya course, but the other ones are streamed, more or less, and lay people, and then the retreats and so on. We invite the public to come. So a lot of people come.
That's great.
And then also, in between courses, if people want to come and stay with us and just experience the monastic schedule, then they're welcome to come and do that with the community.
And stay there for a few days.
Some people stay a few days, some people stay a month or 2 months.
This question is about our mind.
Okay.
So it's difficult to understand that the pain you are currently feeling will eventually pass. So every time a difficulty arises, so does a sense of anxiety.
Oh, the anxiety, yes.
So please share with us how the Tibetan Buddhist tradition defines and explains about the mind.
Okay. It's interesting because I've been asked to speak a lot about anxiety recently. And when we had the young adults course, that was one of the big topics they wanted to discuss was anxiety. So explaining the mind is a huge, vast topic, okay? But basically, there are certain mental factors that are distorted, and when those mental factors motivate our thoughts and our speech and our actions, then we create negative karma. There's other mental factors. Well, the examples of the negative ones, the three prominent ones are ignorance, anger, and attachment, but also jealousy, arrogance, laziness, pretension, deception. There's a whole text that outlines a lot of them, okay? Wrong views. And then there are other mental factors that are conducive to creating virtuous karma, and that we want to elaborate on to bring us to full awakening. So there it's mental factors like love, compassion, integrity, consideration for others, wisdom, concentration, mindfulness. There's so many other mental factors. So in our Dharma practice, the ones that create negativity, that make us create negative karma and that harm other sentient beings, where we harm others, those are the ones the Buddha taught so many different ways to subdue those. Yeah, and of course the chief way to subdue them is to see the nature of reality, to realize emptiness or selflessness. And at the same time as subduing those, then the virtuous mental factors, we want to learn how to increase them. So the analytic meditations that I was just telling you about, they are a very good aid for learning how to think so that you can subdue your anger, learning how to think in order to increase your compassion. Because we can't just say, I should feel compassion, I should be kind, I should love everybody. That doesn't do it.
Sure.
So we need the reasons and we need the familiarity that meditation brings in order to do that.
Right. Okay. And there is a Korean verb, mountains beyond the mountain, meaning that more obstacles and troubles are waiting for us when our present problems are overcome. And our struggles are not over.
No.
So although we thought we were overcoming the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been a lot of after effects.
Yeah.
And now it seems there are more global issues to contend with, such as Ukrainian war and stagflation. So if difficulties keep following difficulties, we may all soon be worn out. How can we cope in these difficult times?
Okay. The best way to cope is to practice the Dharma and become an arhat or become a Buddha. If you do that, you are finished with samsara. But as long as we are in samsara, problems exist. Yeah, and there's nobody to complain to. You know, who are you going to complain? There's a problem. There's no God. If there were a God, you could complain to God. Yeah, but you see, complaining, the Christians do that, but it doesn't do much good. Yeah, so why are there problems? Because of our afflicted mental states, our wrong views, our grasping, our ignorance, anger, and attachment. Okay? So we have to learn to overcome those so that we don't create the causes for the problems. Okay? But while we're in samsara, problems are always going to come. So as Dharma practitioners, we have to take the problems and use them as the path to awakening. Okay? So instead of just having our normal afflictive reactions to things, like, I don't like this, it's not supposed to happen, why is this happening to me? If we greet every problem like that, we're so busy being angry and how that we don't have the time to even think about solving the problem. But if we look at a problem and say, this is an opportunity for me to grow, yeah, it's like a challenge, it's like an adventure.
It's a kind of growth mindset.
Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, here's COVID. Well, I never thought I would live through a pandemic. That's kind of ignorant on my part. There have been pandemics throughout history. Why did I think I would never experience one? Okay, so there's a pandemic. Many people are dying. Yeah, death is natural in samsara. Yeah, of course we don't like it. but it's a natural thing. But look at the kindness we're receiving from all the doctors and the healthcare professionals who actually, many of them sacrifice their own lives to take care of the people who are sick with COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. When society appreciated that at the beginning, then people started saying, well, we don't like this, you know, and the doctors are responsible for curing it, and you can't do it all, and we don't like wearing masks, and we don't like staying inside, and so we're going to have a protest and scream and yell and blame people. What good does that do? You know, it doesn't do any good. It makes everything worse. But if you see, okay, yes, maybe I don't like wearing a mask so much, but it's how I contribute to the good of the world. I don't want to infect other people. I don't want to be infected and then pass it on to other people. So if I wear a mask, I am joining the community effort to solve the problem.
Yes.
That helps. Yeah. And I come to Korea, and it's so nice to see so many people wearing masks.
Yes.
In my country, oh, I don't want to wear a mask. Why are you making us wear a mask? Da, 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 da. And then COVID just continues because of people's attitude.
Yeah.
Here, people are much more cooperative, I think.
Very cooperative.
So, yeah, so I really, you know, bow to all of you who are cooperative and working together for the common good.
Yes.
You know, but to say, okay, there's a lot of stress in society right now by having COVID, but can I be somebody who presents a happy face?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I reach out to people who are sick? Can I reach out to people who are anxious about this? Yeah. And at the beginning of the pandemic, at least in the West, we saw so many acts of kindness. Yeah. And so if, as Buddhists, if we can really encourage that, you know, it's something very good.
Right, right. So we need to discover the kindness and have the gratitude for all of that.
And the gratitude for all the people who are working and risking their own lives.
Yes.
The gratitude for the medical researchers who are investigating vaccines for a virus that constantly mutates. Yeah.
Yes.
The people who stock the grocery store, who are in public contact and can become infected so easily. And these are often the poorest people in the society, at the jobs with the lowest pay. And they're the ones who are keeping society going during the during COVID. Those people, you know, the people who drive the buses, who stock the grocery stores, the truck drivers, they can't do their work at home. Yeah. People who have white-collar jobs, they sit at home and do their work. The other people risk their lives.
Yes.
So we need to really show our appreciation for them.
Yes, right. Thank you for saying that. It's so touching. Okay, so the next question is about the earth. So the resources of the earth are limited, as we know. But unfortunately, there is no end to human greed. As the pace of environmental destruction rapidly accelerates, we are currently facing its consequences and exposing future generations to harm as well.
Yeah.
Do you think Buddhist practices will be able to put an end to ignorance in this regard and play a role in proposing an alternative lifestyle?
I think Buddhism has a lot to offer, okay? And I know in the West, many people are interested in that. Not the broad population, because those people just want to make money. And they don't care about the earth or anything. They care about money. But the people who are looking further in the future, who care about future generations, I think Buddhism can really help in that respect. And you know, His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a book called Our Only Home, and it's his take on climate change and what we need to do to slow it down and stop it.
Oh, yeah.
And this really is something that needs cooperation from every country and from every resident in every country. Yeah, it's not just that some people should do it. It really needs, it's a world, it needs to be a worldwide effort.
Yes. Yes.
And even if the rest of the world isn't doing it, we need to keep our own values and standards and do our part. We can't say, well, but that country's polluting more, so, you know, it's going to go up anyway, so why don't we pollute because it's better for our economy? No. Yeah, we have a value. We know what's good in the long term. Even if others aren't doing their job, we've got to do our job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to do something
Yes.
for our
Yes.
home.
And one of the things that I see is very difficult for people is not driving so much, not using vehicles. Yeah. Because we are in consumer society like ours. You know, you want something, oh, you just go out to the market and get it. You want this, you drive out there and get it. So we're all the time jumping in vehicles, and vehicles pollute the air.
Yes.
The water, you know, when we wash things, we don't just turn off the water between washing different things. We let the water run.
Yeah.
When we're brushing our teeth, we let it run. Yeah, we take long showers. Oh, hot showers, so nice. You know, we could take short showers. So there's many things that we can do, at least in our life, to conserve resources. Yeah, and to decrease the consumption that is not only taking away the resources, but polluting the earth by where do we store all this waste? So also I think limiting, not having so much packaging, you know, so many goods come with so many packages. This wrapped and that wrapped and the other thing, and it's all stuff that goes in a landfill. Or we should be more conscientious about recycling things. And we shouldn't use products like styrofoam that cannot be recycled. Okay? And so these are little things we can do as individuals and encourage them in our workplaces, encourage them in our schools and universities and our social institutions. But people have to think it's not just institutions that do this, it's also me as an individual. But also, institutions must see they have responsibility.
Yes.
And the oil companies that are pouring stuff into the rivers and oceans, you know, please just think of the impact on other living creatures and care about the effect of your actions on others.
That's very needed.
It's so important. We need to understand, you know, that at a personal level, a corporate level, a group level, a national level, a planetarian level, we all have responsibility and we all have to act.
Yes, we need to remember your last word. We all have a responsibility and we need to act on.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for your answer. And this is my last question.
Okay. Really?
Yes. Are there any messages or wisdom you can share with the viewers of BTN?
Okay. Well, I think the most important thing is to develop a kind heart. Yeah, that is the key to a peaceful life and a peaceful society and a peaceful world. I forgot to mention when you asked about climate, war is very bad for the climate. You know, you look in Ukraine, all these destroyed tanks and stuff. Where is all that waste going to go? Where was all that metal mined from? all that money that was spent to build tanks and missiles and howitzers and planes and all this stuff, why didn't that money go into social services and health care and education? Why don't we try and make a more equal society instead of fighting with each other? Yeah. So this is, you can see where the importance of having a kind heart is.
Yes.
Yeah. That we need to learn to live together with people who have other ideas, other ways of seeing things, okay? And we're never all going to think the same way or have the same ideas. But to respect them as human beings, yeah? Now you might say, well, why should I respect that person? Look how they act, they're just terrible, you know? No, a person is not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh.
We need to separate the person and their actions.
Right.
The actions are negative or inappropriate or harmful. The person never is. You cannot say the person is evil. You cannot say the person who started that war or people who started that war are evil. Why can't you say that? Because they have the Buddha nature. They have the potential to become fully awakened Buddhists.
Yes.
How can you say they are evil? If you give them that label and put them in a box that says evil, then you throw them out the window as if they are not worthwhile. But they are sentient beings who want to be happy and don't want to suffer, just like the rest of us.
Right.
So we need to help them. Yeah, we don't necessarily help them by giving them everything they want. We don't say to Putin, yes, please come and take Ukraine. But it involves education. And this, I think, is where Buddhism can really contribute a lot.
Yes.
And the work you're doing with sea learning, teaching the children.
Yes.
Yeah, there's another program called Nonviolent Communication, teaching children, how to solve problems, how to respect others, how to compromise, and especially how to cooperate. If you can cooperate, many times you avoid having to compromise because you can make it so that every side gets what they need. Yeah, because in many situations, it isn't that everybody wants the same thing. They give the example, the two people who are fighting over the orange. I want it, no, I want it. But if they talked, oh, this person wants to eat the fruit of the orange, and this person wants the orange peel to use as flavoring. You can take the orange and give the fruit part to this person, the peel to that person. You only have one orange. You've satisfied everybody. Okay? So nobody needs to compromise. If you communicate, there's often ways to solve problems by cooperation.
Yes. So,
yeah. So we need to try. It's hard. It's not always successful, but we need to try.
Yes. Try to communicate with the compassion in mind.
Right. And try to respect. Even there's somebody I do not like, somebody I totally disagree with. I do not like that person. Still, there's somebody who wants happiness, who doesn't want suffering. Why are they acting in harmful ways? They don't act in harmful ways because they're happy. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, oh, the sun is shining, I'm full of love and compassion, I think I'm going to go harm somebody. Nobody says that if they're happy.
Right.
It's when people are unhappy that they harm.
Right.
So how can we help those people find happiness? Yeah.
We need to take care of them. We need to take care of those people.
We need to take care of them and make sure they have good education and health care and equal opportunity.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for your time with us here at BTN, and I hope you have a safe journey back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
우리의 수행이 개인의 삶의 질만 바꾸는 것이 아니라 우리 사회에 그리고 더 나아가 이 지구 전체에까지 영향을 미칠 수 있음을 다시 한번 깨닫게 되는 귀한 시간이었습니다. 세계인의 영적 스승인 툭텐 초드론 스님과 함께한 특별 대담 여기서 마치겠습니다. 성불하십시오.